name's Owen, and I'm the Dungeon Master of our Return of the Giants 5th edition homebrew campaign.
Hi, I'm Ali. I'm playing Lyra, the Eladrin Spore Druid, and she is just a little bit obsessed with mushrooms.
Hi, my name's Simon. I'm playing the character of Ember. I'm a wildfire druid who's on a quest to be the very best there ever was.
Hi, I'm Dave, and I play Harry Harrington, the Harrengon, the roguish merchant with the heart of gold.
My name is Christian. I'm playing Bartholomew, the romantic dancing Owlin, Paladin of devotion.
Hi, my name is Matt, and I'll be playing Niles Silverwind, the Owlin, Way of the Sympathy Monk.
Hey guys, I'm Jared. I play the character of Threign, the boisterous frost giant, the Goliath, path of the giant Barbarian.
Hello there, lovely listener. This is just a warning to let you know that this episode of Return of the Giants may contain adult language or adult themes. Hello! Hello, everybody! Welcome back, everybody. It is wonderful to have you join us once again for our Return of the Giants campaign, the premier homebrew 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons campaign. We are excited. We are ready. We are raring to go. Christian is devouring pizza as we speak. It was almost like an owl would. He kind of like tilted his head back, dropped it down, and then it just sort of disappeared rapidly. It was very much felt in character.
The person who brought it to me, half of the pizza is actually off of the base. And so I'm not holding crust, I'm holding just like meat and cheese. It's awkward. But I'm hungry.
It's fantastic. I like that you are eating in character. We did obviously finish last session with a bit of a dinner. The characters enjoying some dinner and getting ready to head to bed. So we'll do a thorough recap and get back in. Obviously, I know the team are very excited to be jumping back in to enjoy some more of the Hearthstone dreams that they have been experiencing on and off during the campaign. Before we do, only 2 quick announcements. The first one is a slightly sad announcement. Unfortunately, we don't have a campaign tomorrow night for our Avatar Legends stream. And that is, the reason for that is the same reason why we're also missing one of our players tonight. Simon's not able to make it. The company that we both work for is locking us in for a conference for the next couple of days. And I know all of you are sitting there thinking, oh, and you were just at a conference? I know. This is what August is, unfortunately. So apologies. But
Wait, when you say lock you in,
yes,
like they ship you to a place and make you stay at a hotel? Or
yes,
do they...
correct. Yes. Yeah. Unfortunately. Yeah, no, it literally is like and it's not a thing where it's like, would you like to go? It's we've booked your flights. Here's where you're staying. Like, please enjoy. So unfortunately, yeah, we won't have a session tomorrow night. I will be at the welcome address. I would much rather be here doing Avatar Legends, but it is mandated. I'm unable to get out of this. And it is why Simon's not joining us tonight. I believe he's having to quickly pack and get ready because his flight is, I think, at like 5 a.m. tomorrow morning from Melbourne to Brisbane. So he's got a bit of a rough start tomorrow morning, poor Simon, which means he's got to get to the airport at like 4. So I'm laughing, but I really feel pity for him. Like, it's pretty rough. I feel sad. Poor Simon. Wow. So yeah, unfortunately no session tomorrow night, and unfortunately no Simon tonight. I will not have to play the character of Ember, most likely. We'll have to see how the evening goes and what decisions are made during the night. But I might have a way for Ember to be doing something else during this session. We do have Jared on his way. He is running a little bit late, so I will play as Threign until he arrives. The other announcement I have to share is a fun one. For those of you who are fans of the Stormlight Archive, I mentioned last week that Brandon Sanderson has released a TTRPG based on the Cosmere. I'm excited to announce that not only has it reached its funding goal within, like, I think it was 2 hours or something of it being launched, it is rapidly on its way to become one of the largest funded projects on Kickstarter. Last time I checked, I think it had gotten over, I think it was like 11 or 12 million, and it was rapidly increasing, and it's still got like 20 days to go or something. So what I'm hearing loud and clear is that we all really like the Cosmere. I agree. I also really like the Cosmere. I am working in the background on the beginnings of some of the artwork. I announced last week that we would be doing a little short campaign. That is definitely still happening. I'm going to wait. At the moment, all we've got are the basic rules. We did use the basic rules when we first started Avatar Legends, and I would be keen to start a campaign right now if we weren't already running 3, which is absolutely the limit, possibly slightly over the limit of what I can manage per week, 3 sessions per week. So we will wait until we finish up our Avatar Legends Kyoshi campaign, and then we will be looking to start our Brandon Sanderson Stormlight Archive series. How far away is that? I hear you asking. I don't know. We've already done more episodes of Kyoshi than I thought.
Episode.
I said we'd do 10 episodes of Kyoshi. We just, I think, recorded episode 11 last week. So it's I don't yet know exactly. Sometime soon. So we will do that, I promise, and I will keep you all posted on that. But for the time being, we've got to finish off the Legacy Kyoshi. But we will be we'll be doing that soon. And the stretch goals that are being unlocked with the Cosmere stuff is so cool. The Lifelight dice look amazing. I think that was the first stretch goal that was unlocked, and now a new adventure book has just been unlocked as well. So if you are a fan of the Cosmere and you are also a TTRPG player, really there's no reason why you shouldn't be backing this. We're not sponsored. I'm just a massive Standerson. Is that what we're calling ourselves? Like a massive stan of Brandon Sanderson? If I've just coined that in that second, I'm going to stand by it. I'm a Standerson.
We can work with this.
I can work with it. I'm a huge fan of the Cosmere, and Brandon is by far my favorite author. His books are my favorite books. I'm very excited.
I do like saying that I read Brando Sando.
Brando Sando, yeah.
Brando Sando.
Ali and I, sorry, not Ali, that Ali, my partner Ali, who is a different Ali, who I refer to as Ali, whose name is Alice. That could have got confusing for a second. Ali and I often talk about like Brandon as if it's someone we know. Like we'll often be like, oh yeah, like I love how Brandon does this, to the point where a few people have been like, who's Brandon? And we're like, oh no, he's just an author we love. Like, sorry. We just like, yeah, Brandon. Oh, it's like such a Brandon twist, that.
I think I am excited.
Here you go.
I was going to say, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I am excited. I think this Kickstarter has shown that there's definitely a lot of interest in this as a collection, but also that I think the mainstream media is going to see more Brandon Sanderson.
I would love a Mistborn TV series.
Oh, yes, give me that,
please,
right now.
I was about to say the other funny thing I've just realized as well, that it's an extra layer of confusion, is when my partner Alice and I are talking about Brandon. Brandon is also the name of Ali's boyfriend. Just like multiple levels of confusion I've just realized in that moment, which is amazing.
Jenga tower of.
That's so funny. I hadn't realized that until just that moment when I saw Ali's face when I was talking about Brandon. You're like, it just occurred to me. That's so funny. Oh my god. Yeah, no, I agree, Matt. I'm so excited. A Mistborn TV series would be sick. We were talking actually about who we'd cast in various roles, and it's a tough one. Like to sort of think about who you'd cast as the different ones. Yeah, maybe this is something you and I can do, like a little short, like a wish list almost. We'll like jump in and like talk through what we'd want to see in the Mistborn TV series. Maybe there's ever a night we can't do D&D and you and I are both available. Let's like sit down and just nerd out over Mistborn for a while and chat about who we'd cast as various roles and what we'd like to see, because I think that'd be awesome.
Yeah, 100%. I would say, just quickly, as a bit of a teaser to maybe that conversation, if it ever does happen. Based on the absolute amazing success of Deadpool and Wolverine, I think Daphne Keane as Vin would be a good casting choice.
Yeah, nice.
She's a little bit older now, but I think it can work.
Could get away with it.
I think so.
Okay. Yeah. Cool. I was trying to find a role for Henry Cavill, and then I realized that the ultimate role for Henry Cavill is give him Hoyd, which would then mean he's in everything. It's just perfect.
That's smart. I like that.
Yeah, I don't know if he's. I think he's probably a bit too like muscular and a bit too good looking for Hoyd. I kind of get that, like, because Hoyd's often described as having like hawk-like features and very. Yeah. Hello, hey, Jared. Perfect timing.
Hello, everyone. Oh, perfect.
I was just about to do the recap. We were nerding out about the Stormlight Archive TTRPG series. Matt and I were. Everyone else is just sitting there like, what the fuck are they talking about? But Matt and I are very excited. So yeah, no, Matt, let's next time we can't do a session of D&D, let's you and I just jump on and let's just do like a 2-hour discussion about Brando Sando.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
It's lovely.
He's so excited. I can tell Jared's excited. Let us do our recap. Let us jump into the session. Jared, make sure you've got both Threign and your other character sheet open for tonight.
Ooh, okay, cool.
Because we did end last week with the cliffhanger of a return to the giant dreams. So you might want to have your giant character sheet open as well.
All right, we'll do. Perfect. Thank you.
So let me do our recap, and we will jump straight back into the episode. The Tempest Adventuring Guild, a name now legendary across the lands of Nostea, has formed a brand new team. Lyra, Niles, Harry, Ember, Threign, and newcomer Bartholomew are exploring the vast caverns of the Underdark. Drawn below by rumours of stone giants taking over territory, it has come to light that the Duergar are providing the stone giants with slaves as part of a massive mining operation. The team are currently assisting the gnomes of Blindenstone, the last city stronghold of the Sverfniblen. Discovering a massive draconic monstrosity called a Behir having taken up residence in the fortress, the team launched an attack, emerging victorious after a brutal battle. Casting Speak with Dead, Ember awakened the Behir again with necromancy, allowing the team to ask 5 questions of it. They soon learned the Behir indeed was working with the stone giants, and more concerningly, seemed to have some knowledge or connection with the Heartstones. Barry attempted to why am I saying Barry every time? You've poisoned me, Dave. I'm locked into Barry forever now.
And that was like 2 years ago, 3 years
I know.
ago.
It's permanently in my mind.
Before COVID.
Oh, it's the Behir. It's because I'm saying Behir every time. I need to like not have the word Behir before Harry. Harry attempted to contact his patron, activating his Heartstone, as well as seemingly activating Bart's. This was not the only connection that we discovered, though. The team looked on as a light began to pulse in the forehead of the Behir. Carving away at the scales, the team found a gemstone encased in a metal implant, stuck into the skull of the Behir. After inspecting the gemstone and learning it likely played some role in allowing the giants to command the Behir, the team split up to continue their investigation into the current situation. Lyra, Harry, and Threign stayed with the body of the Behir, carving off its skin to try and make cloaks for the party. After insisting on investigating the stomach of contents from the inside, Harry discovered the bodies of some gnomes and Duergar in the belly of the beast. A detailed investigation revealed a well-made dwarvish dagger on the body of the Duergar, as well as an odd-looking amulet marked with a dwarvish rune denoting a warrior of a fairly high rank. Meanwhile, Niles, Bart, and Ember headed over to talk to the gnomes of Blindenstone, learning more about the attack of the Duergar and stone giants. Interestingly, it seems the fortress had been suffering from troubles prior to the attack, King Shintley having become strangely paranoid, forcing curfews and driving away his supporters, possibly displaying signs of madness. Keen to get his hands on a diamond for some magical spells, Ember accompanied Noose and the other gnomes to the treasure vault. Arriving there, they discovered one of the vaults had been partially cleared out, a stone plinth sitting in the middle of the room. Hidden within was a broken heartstone, which, upon its accidental activation, unleashed a wave of fear and paranoia. Able to resist the effects of the magic, Ember brought the stone to the surface and showed the others, discussing the effects it may have had on the King of the Gnomes. Realizing Harry's patron Figment might know more, the team, via Harry, questioned the entity, learning quite a bit about the Heartstones, which have potentially dire consequences for the party. With the team feeling a bit less suspicious of Figment, and now curious about the other memories encoded upon the stones, they began to prepare for the evening's rest. Niles and Bart decided to use this moment of quiet to share the dark secret they had been carrying, that the Eris theocracy had been born from a conquering force of Owlin and Aarakocra, who had first taken control of the elemental plane of air. With the beginnings of a plan to replace the leader of Eris as a way of preventing future bloodshed now under discussion, sleep came slowly to the party. But when it did come, the group found themselves once again immersed in a giant dream. And that is where we left off last session. We are going to jump straight back in, as sleep eventually does come to you. You find yourselves, I was going to say the familiar experience, but for Bart this isn't familiar, but for Harry, Lyra, Threign, and Niles, that familiar sensation of almost a weightlessness, a sense of disconnect from time and space, a feeling of cold and heat, then nothingness. A feeling of motion, then dark, and then light finally dawning as you open your eyes. Bartholomew, for you this is a brand new sensation. You have no idea what's going on. At first it feels almost like the beginnings of a rather vivid, rather strange dream. Colours, lights begin to pulse across your field of vision, shifting and changing, forming a kaleidoscope of patterns and shapes. And then as the lights and the colours begin to fade and disappear, replaced with darkness, you feel a sudden sense of motion, of falling, flying, but with no reference point for up or down. You have no direction. no sense of knowing which way you are. And then, as you blink open your eyes, you find yourself looking upon an unfamiliar sight. As all of you open your eyes, you find yourselves standing. The room in which you're situated is quite small. You can see the roof is scraping the top of your heads, is small and cramped. It almost seems like a stone cell. To your eyes, it would look as if it was maybe 30 feet across, maybe 20 feet wide. But for Harry, Lyra, Threign, and Niles, you know that your sense of perspective and space is thrown off right now. As you look across at each other and down at yourselves, you see you are once again in the forms of the giants whose lives you have been glimpsing through the Heartstones. And there is another with you. Standing next to Harry is an unfamiliar stone giant. Again, when you look across, you still see that almost ghost-like overlay, this sensation of an image, an after-image projected behind the body of this stone giant, this time in the form of Bartholomew. But as you look around, you see unfamiliar figures. A storm giant, a frost giant, a cloud giant, and a stone giant. But you can see behind them this almost like a out-of-focus reflection, showing Niles, Threign, Lyra, and Harry. You know somehow that you are looking at them, even though they are in the forms of these unfamiliar figures. As you all look around and see each other, you can see Ember in his fire giant form is missing at the moment, does not seem to be there. And it is just the five of you in this small room. A moment later, you feel the room shudder and move. For Lyra, Threign, and Niles, you find yourself stumbling a little bit, able to just get yourselves under control by reaching out and grabbing onto the walls. But strangely, Harry and Bart, you feel no sense of unfamiliar motion. If anything, it feels normal and natural. There's a sense of calm and peace, finding yourselves under the ground, finding yourselves encased in stone. Heading back, you have this bizarre impression of waking up as you head deeper and deeper underground. I pass over to the five of you as you look around.
That would be so disorientating, considering we're already underground and now we're heading deeper. Meant to be going to sleep, but waking up, like everything's... The environment as well is like all just 180'd.
For stone giants, it's actually even worse. For Lyra, Threign, and Niles, as you fall asleep and find yourselves waking up, it's a very, like, you're used to the giant dreams now. But for Harry and Bart, Harry, we did discuss this last time. A unique feature of the stone giants is this belief, this sensation that they all experience and feel that the above ground world is just a dream. That the only real world is what is deep below in the Underdark. That is where reality is. Everything else above is just noise and light and sound and color. It is a dream. It is not real. Harry, you've experienced this before. It's not quite as disorienting, but it is very disorienting, this experience. And as you look down, you see on your hand the familiar Heartstone embedded into the backs of your hands. These are proportional to your giant forms. They are massive. If these were to be on your regular human forms, they would be taking up most of your arm, displacing quite a large amount of flesh. But on your giant forms, they look perfect. For Lyra, Threign, and Niles, that's your first time seeing Bart joining you in a giant dream, and as a stone giant as well.
I feel like this is the dream that you've all been talking about. Yes, Niles? I guess for my self-experience, I've seen the streams before, but try to say Niles' name for the first time. As you go to say Niles' name, again, you find yourself speaking the name of the giant. And there's this weird sense where you know this giant well. The giant that Niles is inhabiting. You know Sindaris. And you find a sense of distrust when you look at Sindaris.
Oh, that's kind of funny. Niles, aka Sindaris, at this point, goes, Yes. Well. Welcome. This is what it looks like. Yeah. This is I think we're in the dream. But and like Niles kind of looks. Well, Sindaris looks over at.
You can. I think to avoid confusion, you're welcome to use your character names: Niles, Threign, Lyra, Barton, Harry, and just the information you have. You know that those names are automatically changed to the giant names of the memory that you're inhabiting.
I think Niles probably levels a glance over at Bart and says Bart's name and goes, "Oh well, welcome, Bart." And then like he kind of like pauses on the name and as if like because I don't think we know Bart's giant form yet. You hear the name Ettringa come out of your mouth. Ettrang. I think from memory. Ettringa. Yeah. So as I say that, there's like I'm almost like confused. Ettrang. Ettringa. Yeah. Ettringa. Ettringa. Yeah. Niles just kind of says it and then almost looks very confused, as if to say like, what the heck? But then also kind of seems a little bit also like, whoa, Ettringa. Nah. Yes. Well, this is it. This is the dream, I think. Does anyone know where we are? This does not look familiar.
Yeah, I'm gonna say we're under the ground.
That's
as astute as always.
My stone giant instincts are telling me we're heading down this way. Does Harry feel like he's heading to somewhere he would call home? Is that what?
Harry, the deeper this square stone chamber takes you, the closer you feel to, I would say, closer you feel to reality, closer you feel to being truly awake. You're leaving behind the nightmare that is the above ground and heading to the true calm and quiet of the real world deep beneath the earth. And you know, you instinctually feel this cube, this square, this metal, I keep saying metal for some reason, this stone chamber, you can feel it is moving rapidly through the earth, not just straight down, moving at a diagonal, moving through the earth, displacing the stone and rock around it, flowing through it like liquid. And you can instinctually sense as well on the outside the two stone giants who are moving this chamber below.
Oh wow!
Swimming through the stone to transport you down towards the realm of the stone giants.
Niles probably still instinctively goes to like feel the stone craftsmanship of the room that we're in, just to get a bit of an idea of, I guess, to maybe like literally ground himself a little bit, like in this moment.
As you run your hands over the stone surface, you can feel the vibrations, and as well, Niles, heat, not burning hot, but warm. The friction of this traveling through the stone, generating quite a large amount of heat around the outside that's translating through the rock that makes up this chamber. You can feel the vibration and feel that warmth as it travels very quickly below ground.
Is it a completely enclosed chamber at this point, or
it seems to be a completely enclosed stone room, almost like a stone cell? There's no windows, there's no door. It's just a hollowed out rectangular prison of stone.
That automatically makes me feel uncomfortable, and that's like on a level of like probably Sindaris and Niles,
especially as a cloud giant. Yeah. Well,
cloud giant, and also like an Owlin, like you know, kind of being in the air is our jam. I immediately kind of like take a couple of steps back and kind of just look a little bit like, oh, this is a bit strange, a little bit unsettling. Don't you think? How do we get out of here?
I was just going to say, can we take a look at sort of everyone and sort of see, like, is anyone sort of looking worse for wear? Like, sort of we've been put in, you know, this concrete box sort of unwillingly, like, sort of has any, like, battle damage carried over or anything?
No. As you look around, your giant forms are dressed in very ceremonial-looking clothing. You can see that Sindaris, Niles's giant form, similar to yours, Ali. Both of you are obviously Oh, sorry, no. Matt's a storm giant. Sorry, Niles the storm giant. Sindara's a storm giant. Lyra, yeah, as you look at Corius, your cloud giant form, you can see that you're dressed in long flowing robes that almost seem to kind of defy gravity, hovering around you, forming these like curls and ribbons that seem to float in the air, creating this almost effect of being surrounded by clouds themselves. As you look over at Niles, you can see that Sindaris, his storm giant form, is wearing this beautiful metal breastplate, emblazoned with these arcing lights of crackling energy that occasionally almost shift across his body, arcing themselves and grounding themselves on his skin, which is underneath the armor. No helmet. It's very ceremonial. You can see that this would not necessarily be used in combat per se. It looks like it's more for appearances. Threign, currently in his frost giant form of Ulfric, is wearing one of the most incredible chest plates you've seen. Layered tusks from mammoth, bones from whales, forming this incredibly, I would say, impressive and slightly threatening looking chest plate, not bound together with rope or twine, instead ice carved across, holding this chest plate together, slowly steaming in the warm air inside the cube. The two stone giants, however, Harry and Bart, both seem to be wearing very little. In fact, you can see that there's this weird sense that they've changed recently, that what you're looking at is unfamiliar. For your giant forms, it's almost like their appearance has altered slightly recently, and you're still getting used to it. There's this sense of unease as you look at them. But you can see, as they're heading deeper below, stone, minerals beginning to grow across their body, forming clothing. As you look at Harry, you can see this almost like metalline structure forming these tiny squares of patterns, like bismuth, slightly reflective as it grows across his body and forms this very skin-tight metal carapace almost. And for Bartholomew's character, for Etringer, very similar, but rather than these metal-like minerals, you can see that it's this silvery gold, marked and tarnished with sections of stone and other minerals, forming this almost like raw ore chest plate that grows across and down onto his shoulders. To your eyes, which almost looks like Electrum, but in its raw, naked form, as their clothing begins to grow across their bodies as they head deeper. Occasionally you watch as, subconsciously, both of them reach out, draw their hands across the stone and bring away a chunk, which then grows down their arm and continues to form this clothing across their bodies.
I will never get used to that.
Okay, pocket check, everyone. Does anyone have any documents on them? Anything that gives us any idea of what we're down here for specifically? Who we're looking to talk to?
I'm not sure about the documents, but I have very cool chest plate. I could do something like this. I think this would be very nice. Look at this thing. Whew.
Do you have the where you're from in your clan, or is this a bit more intricate?
That I don't know, actually. I think that'd be fair. I don't think Threign would have any idea about that.
Cool as shit, though.
Oh, yeah.
There's the only thing you know, Threign, is this is badass.
Hell yeah.
If it was possible, you like your ancestor a touch more now. Like you didn't think there was room for you to be more in love with Ulfric. Apparently, it has increased slightly. You didn't know how. You've broken the limiter on how much you love Ulfric.
As everyone else is looking at Threign, you'll see him as Ulfric. You'll see him sort of, his chest is like puffing up more. Like he is proud to be who he is right now.
Enjoying this.
Oh yeah, every time.
Ettring, Bart will follow what Lyra said and see. I know you said the clothing was sort of forming around me, but I'm not sure if I did have any pouches to begin with.
There's no pockets and no pouches, but as you reach down to your side and begin padding, you watch as the stone, the stone-like flesh around your midsection, which you did mistake for part of your body, actually begins to split and open, showing this small pocket of stone around your lower body. And as you look, you can see that your lower torso and your waist are actually much thinner. They're actually quite disproportionately thin compared to that of a human. And around the outside is this almost like, I guess like maybe like a girdle, like a full thick belt around made of stone that almost melds perfectly with your flesh. And that's where all this metal is growing from. As you reach down and it opens up, you can see that you hold in this section what looks like a coiled, tangled mess of wires wrapped around a large section of very dark grey metal. This almost like dusky grey with almost no reflective property to it at all. And as you lift it out, you watch as the wires begin to twist and move by themselves behind the back of this metal. And above the surface, illusions, lights begins to dance and form these swirling patterns that resolve into shapes. You can see a perfect representation of the square in which you're in, this rectangular stone chamber in which you're in. And you can see this illusionary view begin to zoom out, pull away as the stone square shrinks down and down, smaller and smaller. And then emerging from the far right, you watch as buildings begin to grow out of nothingness in the lights, forming this network of intricate towers joined together like almost like stalactites and stalagmites growing into each other, forming these like hourglass-shaped buildings emerging from the stone roof and stone floor, creating this pattern in front of you. And it seems like whatever room you're in is moving rapidly towards this location.
Does anyone find anything?
Lyra,
I think I will have a look as well.
Lyra, as you begin padding through, you find a number of items, but nothing that really leaps out as being incredibly significant to the moment. You find a case of scrolls, which as you pull open, you can see appear to be descriptions of various magical ceremonies and discussions on the source of magic, particularly looking around weather magic. This seems to be a series of magical and scientific investigations into the harnessing of the power of storms specifically. And as you pull it open, you can feel that you do not want Niles to see this. This is not for his eyes.
I think she probably goes to pull it out, sort of sees what it is, goes, no, and just pushes it straight back down, like, bottom of the bag. Why did I bring this with me?
Do I notice this at all?
You see Lyra pull out a series of scrolls, look at them, and then very quickly tuck them away.
Lyra, what have you got there? Anything important?
Not so much as important as things that probably wasn't meant for my eyes. I think I need some eye bleach. It was some sexy drawings. I don't know why my character is carrying this around on her, but
I'm definitely going to insight check that.
Yeah, Lyra, that's a flat-out deception check, please.
The first thing she's like, okay, what's something that I would immediately hide? I know.
Well, I rolled a 4, so
Well,
you don't have to try too hard.
Is it deception? Sorry.
Most definitely wouldn't miss.
You'll be fairly good at deception. 11.
11.
Good enough. Nothing to see here, Niles. It's 100%. For some strange reason, Lyra's giant echo is carrying around a huge amount of hand-drawn pornography, and really, it's best if no one sees that.
Lyra, a very confused look.
Well, it's more like, why would Lyra lie about something like that? It's too weird to not be the truth, is what you feel in that moment.
Well, that's rather interesting. Did you feel it important to take it on the road with you or something? Wow, okay. That's strange. We won't. Oh, you're gone.
You watch as Lyra goes to the corner of the room, pulls out the scrolls, and begins reading them, going bright red.
She's blipped out of existence. No. That's confusing.
what? Sorry to cut you off there, Matt, but just quickly, what So you said we're in a room.
Imagine like a stone cell, but you can feel it moving, the vibrations around the outside. It's almost like no doors, no windows. It is a perfectly smooth stone cell. You've got your axe strapped to your back.
I'm just going to use the hilt, and I'm just going to start at least tapping the walls around, looking for anything.
As you begin tapping the walls, a moment later you watch as emerging from the floor, a stone giant. The stone passing through and around them as if they're just emerging from the ocean, emerging from liquid. A perfectly still lake slowly climbs up and steps into the room. As they turn towards Harry and Bart, you watch as this stone giant, for your eyes, as you look at this stone giant, they seem to be slightly shorter than yourselves. For Threign, Niles, and Lyra, the stone giant is maybe like half a head shorter than you, about the same height as Bart and Harry. Perfectly smooth stone head, very large, almost accentuated jaw, similar to other stone giants that you've seen. These very, very large eyes set deep into the sockets of the head, and these very, very long, slightly disproportionately long arms and torso. Very, very thin as it lowers down the body, quite large shoulders thinning out to a very, very small waist with very long limbs. As the stone giant emerges into the room, looks towards Harry and Bart, you watch as they touch their forehead, cover their eyes, and then pull down to their chest, seemingly some mark of respect. And then you watch as the stone giant looks up towards you, Threign. Cocks their head curiously as you begin. So I'm assuming you're like tapping the wall with your axe as you pause. They sort of look. What is the problem? You have need of us?
Our friends were somewhat concerned being in an environment not so familiar to themselves. Would you be able to just give us, again, for their safety, an explanation of where exactly we are traveling, just to calm them?
We are traveling through the earth, from the realm of the dream to that of a waking world. The stone we pass through is deep and thick. We transport you using our magic to the city of Stone Teeth.
Okay, that is fine.
We are almost there.
It is my concerns at ease. I was going to ask where we were, but I thought that would be a bit silly because obviously we're here for a purpose. So that was a good save.
You can ask where you are. We are in the transition from the realm of sleep to the realm of enlightenment, from dreaming to the waking world.
I do have a question actually about all of this. I did not feel it pertinent to discuss this before we departed, but now that I am under the ground and confined in this space, it has got me thinking, if anything were to happen to you on the outside, say you came across any adversary or enemy, what would happen? Would we be stuck in this sarcophagus on the ground?
Utnir and Ettringer, as he gestures toward Harry and Bart, would know to carry this chamber on to its destination. We would remain behind to deal with any threat. You need not fear, honored guest. No harm will befall you in the transitionary state.
Well, that's wonderful news then. And I shuffle back a little bit.
Is it really? We can't do nothing in this box. Okay, that is fine. I sort of sit down, but I'm keeping my axe on my legs.
You are used to the violence of the dream, the nightmare above. You have no need of your weapons below. We are heading to the realm of enlightenment, to the Stone City. Here you will awaken. Be at peace. Forehead, eyes, chest. And then you watch as the stone giant slowly melts back into the stone, disappearing.
Oh, wait,
Oh, I mean, you watch as the stone giant pauses halfway, like literally up to his waist. And for a moment, you can see him sighing, and then he slowly pulls himself back out of the stone again.
Hey, none of that. You said it was on a guess. You should answer any of my questions, yes? Don't sigh at me. You know who I am? Come on.
I would not dare insult an honored guest with behavior unbecoming of an awakened.
That's okay. An awakened. That's what I want to know a bit more about. Do you know about this awakened? I'm not clear on it.
Those who reside below.
So violent.
Those who reside below, those who are enlightened by the dark, are awakened. We of the Stone Giant clan are all awakened. We invite all other giant clans, our brothers, our sisters, our cousins below, but so few are able to tear their eyes away from the bright lights and the chaos of the dream. The above-ground world. It is not real. It is an illusion.
Look at my chest plate. Does this look like an illusion to you?
Of course. It was made with the dreaming. It is dream itself. It is nothing.
So, did you say we're going to be awakened?
You will be coming to the realm of those who are awake. We hope that you will become awakened.
Okay, I understand.
I think that would be all. I think we will talk this
Hey,
over.
I can speak for myself. Thank you, Sindaris.
Ah,
You can go. Thank you very much for your help. I give Niles a stern look.
I give a little grin.
Sorry, you're a storm giant, aren't you? Such a storm giant thing to do.
Man.
Actually, I'll say that. You know what? Such a storm giant thing to do.
Yeah.
And is it a frost giant thing to be ignorant of other cultures?
Ho, 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 ho. Threign has the point.
Does he know?
Harry and Bart, every word that stone giant was saying, I mean, to your mind, was confusing and didn't. The above ground world isn't real. That's madness. But it feels right. As you hear it, you know in your heart that what that stone giant said was true. And really, it's a pity these dreams are going to come down to the waking world and live in it, travel through it for a time, disrupting the peace and tranquility of the waking world. For dreams bring nightmares, and the three that you share your chariot with, for some reason you know they bring a nightmare below.
What?
This is what you feel. It's what you know and feel in your heart.
So I wanted to lean into the character a little bit there.
Yeah.
So
Please, the more you lean into your character, the more you play as your character, the more things you'll find that you get.
As I lash out at Threign, something that I wasn't expecting to do, considering I don't care about the giants, can I see if I feel evil? Because Bart really doesn't like stone giants, considering I was a slave to them.
But lashing out at Threign doesn't feel like something that doesn't feel right to you. Let the dreams bicker amongst themselves. Let them chaotically exist, throw themselves. Like, none of it's real anyway. What's the point? Whether or not this frost giant badgers and asks, as soon as they are above ground once again, they are not real. They cease to exist. It's not important. That's what you feel. In terms of feeling evil or good, you feel like yourself. You don't feel like you are pushed or pulled in any direction. You just feel like you.
Yeah.
You feel as evil or as good as you feel. Sorry, not very helpful, but that is how you feel.
No. Yeah.
Most people don't walk around and be like, I feel like an evil little shit today. Time to kick some puppies. Most people feel fairly justified. The thing about good and evil is that Often it's not so much a sense of I am doing the right thing or the wrong thing. Often it's a sense of I have to do this or I need to do this.
Yeah.
Evil is not a thing that you wake up going, "Wah, time to commit wicked deeds." It's more, this is what I have to
Twirl
do.
your mustache.
Exactly. Yeah, twirl the mustache. Exactly. Yeah. Most of the time, it's actually people who the most evil and vile deeds are not committed by people who think they're doing evil and vile things. They think they're doing what's necessary. They think they're doing what they need to do. It's incredible what people are
The road to
capable
hell
of.
is paved with good intentions.
Exactly.
That's right.
Exactly right. Yeah. So you feel like yourself. You feel.
Yeah.
Just quickly, the other stone giant's still here, isn't he?
He left. You guys were. You told him to leave. He slowly sank through the floor and disappeared. Unless there were other things you wanted to ask him.
They're carrying the room, right? So
Yeah.
I just quickly jump in, looking at this half-submerged stone giant. There is another thing actually that comes to mind. Just any conversations that happen within this chariot. Are you able to hear them on the outside, or do we have privacy within this space while we travel?
You have privacy within these walls, as was requested. He looks towards Harry and Bart as if confused. This seems obvious.
I was just checking. I once again still getting myself familiar with this situation.
As was demanded by King Mjorn, you are to be given all hospitality as delegates from the Giant Council from the Orthing. We would not break the tenets, the rules of the Orthing. It's almost slightly insulted, Niles.
That is amicable then. I apologize for my transgression. I just wish to confirm such arrangements were being held, and that is good to hear. They are.
Above
please
board.
forgive them. I think they're still dreaming.
Of course, they have not yet awoken. Makes sense.
Do we know who this King Mjorn is?
You know instinctively King Mjorn to you, Bartholomew, to your giant Ethringer. King Mjorn is a dream, but as close to awakening as dreams are. For some reason, you feel respect for King Mjorn. You feel a affection for him. You feel a loyalty to him. King Mjorn.
And he's a cloud giant, right?
Storm giant.
Storm giant.
King Mjorn is the king of the storm giants and the leader of the old thing. You guys.
My man, he's my man.
This guy, look at this guy.
King Mjorn, I believe, actually called you brother last time you saw him. So you do feel, yeah.
Nepotism.
There's a level of smugness about Sindara's, actually.
Yeah.
There's a level of nepotism about Sindara.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
100%. I'm not even going to deny that.
Yeah, but Bartholomew, I mean, you again, like when you look at Niles, you feel King Mjorn. It does ring some bells. Could I get you to roll me a history check as your character? Could you roll me a history check from Ethringer's history? We're going to see as you try and delve into your knowledge of Ethringer. 8.
I saw that.
King Mjorn is a storm giant king. You think he seems pretty good. Like for some reason, you have respect for him. You think he's pretty good, but you don't know anything more about him.
Okay.
Niles, half-mast, King Mjorn. Even the mention of his name is enough to get the lightning crackling across your body once again.
Oh yeah, love it. Yeah, I like to think that Niles is like so used to the dream now that he kind of just like leans in instinctively because he actually actively enjoys playing this character or acting. It's almost like acting at this point. He kind of likes it. Yeah.
He finally feels free of being himself.
Oh, yikes,
Wow.
Harry.
It's deep.
Harry.
That is deep. Wow.
Deep as the stone giants go.
Dang.
Harry.
Mhm.
Your heartstone, as you look down at it, it doesn't look like the others. It still has that faint green glow. Even now, even in the giant dream, something's changed.
Harry rubs his eyes to make sure he's not dreaming.
No, Harry, you're underground. You're awake again. You know this. You know it to be true.
Harry stands in the corner, facing the corner. And in his mind, he's like, Figment, you there?
There's no response, Harry.
Harry taps the stone. And just kind of joins the others. And
Harry, as you tap the stone, no. You tap the stone. Something happens. As you tap the stone, Harry, you watch as the stone lights up. Yeah, that's it. All it takes is one tap and it's just instant kill. You guys have been carrying around cyanide pills with you this whole time.
How can I forget?
As you tap the stone, you realize Harry shouldn't have did that. As you tap the stone, you watch as it lights up, filling the room with brilliant light. And as you turn your hand around, Harry, you watch as light begins to bleed from it, forming these illusions around your hand and up your arm. Almost like a second skin, like a gauntlet. This green glow surrounds your arm, forming this illusionary metallic, almost like sort of a series of rings around the fingers, plates around the arm. And as you lift your hand up, you watch as light trails behind it, leaving this like scattering of stars. And as you look, you can see that your arm is covered in runes. The light almost leaving behind this after image of giant text. And as you clench your fingers, you watch as your fingers interact with runes upon your palm. The light changes shape, forming a large flat disc in front of you, oval-shaped, that slowly spins, and then images begin to appear as it spins faster and faster and faster, forming this hologram in front of you of light. You see, I'm going to get you all a D100. Because you had no intention when you... Oh, no, you did have an intention. You were trying to contact Figment.
Mm-hmm.
Can you still roll me that D100? I want to know what's happened.
Also, Harry looks around to see if anyone else can see this.
Everyone else can see this.
Okay, that's an 87.
Ooh.
Harry, I'm going to say that's probably enough. I kind of had this in my mind as like... Most of this you'll get if it's 90 or above. You're going to get a bit of this. 87's pretty fucking close. Harry. At first, the spinning disc, the images that appear within it, are scrambled and broken. And then you watch as, chunk by chunk, a humanoid figure assembles itself in the hologram, in the light, in the illusion. You see a torso made of interlocking sections of metal that move through each other. You watch as these two sections of metal plating travel through each other as if they weren't really there, traveling through as if passing through liquid. And as the face forms, you see 3 points of light, one in the forehead, one where each of the eyes would be. And as it cocks its head, you hear a voice.
Harry?
And then the illusion begins to fall apart.
Vic? Hey? You there? Can you hear me?
Harry, that actually
Did
makes
you guys hear that?
Yes. Was that
Did he
Figment?
say-
Was that, sorry, Ali?
Yeah, that's what he usually sounds like. It,
Well, he sounds
usually can't
surprised.
hear him.
Yeah, was that Figment?
I mean, as far as I'm aware of, it seemed like him.
Is that the first time?
He doesn't usually sound as quizzical though. He usually sounds a bit more. He usually sounds a bit more like he knows, or flat. You know, like he knows what's going on. This one sounded different. You think it's him from this time?
It has to be. I mean, how else would he know you?
But I mean, you think he's from our time?
I mean, how else? How long have you been talking to Figment for? I mean, as far as
He did
you've
call
been
you
talking to
Harry.
him for longer than we thought.
You did. Yeah, that's. I don't know where I hear that from,
Like-
but he did call you Harry.
he definitely called you Harry.
Oh yeah, I'm Harry. Sorry, I forgot. Okay, well, that was interesting. I guess we'll just keep it in the back pocket, and yeah, it might be relevant later.
Well, this does raise a dilemma. If we are indeed revisiting a moment in history, and I don't know if your being that you are had Figment with him, this kind of creates a bit of a situation. I think you should probably.
Well, I mean, we know this isn't time travel. This is just like an archive.
Yeah. And if we deviate too far from the archive, I mean, I'm sure the archivist will come back out and yell at us.
That is a good point, actually.
He did give us a good healing off.
Do we want to talk to the archivist while we're here?
I was thinking the same thing, actually. My first experience here, and with Harry bringing up Figment, maybe, first of all, Harry, we shouldn't do that. Flashbacks to Bart and Hidden Knowledge. But instead, yeah, the was it an archivist, you said?
Yes, that's what he referred to himself as.
Mr. Archivist, you there, Mr. Archivist?
No. I think if I, as soon as she saw that Harry was starting to say that, I would physically go to stop him from speaking. No, don't summon him here.
Don't we want to summon him? I'm confused, Lyra.
I'm pretty sure he's always watching.
The trouble.
He's a bit creepy like that.
Oh, I really hope not, because he was talking about merging with other versions of himself, and I'm just imagining what might happen if he decides to merge with Figgy.
Well, we don't know that for sure. Maybe Figment is not related to the Archivist, but we don't know that. But then also the Archivist might have answers for us. So
I haven't
the
jumped in.
Archivist also might take over Harry. I mean,
is that a bad thing?
That is a bad thing. Yes, it is.
No, I mean, maybe it could be mutual. Maybe it could be helpful. I don't know. This is too beyond me.
What, just casually integrating potentially the Archivist into someone that is capable of granting Harry patron-like powers. I mean,
we don't know.
Who knows what kind of chaos that would cause.
I mean, the Archivist didn't strike me as necessarily a bad entity.
I can keep my hand in my pocket the whole time. Or under this rock. And Harry grabs a rock and just covers his acts like a glove. I just want my hand.
Harry,
I do have a question for us. Oh, sorry.
No.
I do have a question for us. If we're going to hold off on the Archivist for now, then due to that worry, at least what we're doing now, the kin of mine and Harry's mentioned that we were close to the city of Stone Teeth. Does anyone know what we're bringing to them? They said we were bringing something of importance, correct?
I'm assuming it's the treaty. Does anyone have it on them?
Not that I'm aware of.
If we feel around, DM, does anyone have the treaty on them?
Are there any bags in the room?
I mean, we've already kind of done that, right?
There are no bags in the room, but as you feel around, doesn't appear to be any paper, any metal casings or anything like that on you.
Could it be on the Heartstone?
Harry, that makes a lot of sense. You just saw what One Touch did.
Maybe it's like a non-physical, almost there's no word for it here, but it's almost like it's a thing on your, maybe it's on the headstone. It's like a communication tool after all to these giants.
Well, Harry, what was it that you did to cause that to happen? Did you tap the crystal on your?
Yeah, I just gave it a little tip.
Niles is going to do that. He's just going to do that with his Heartstone.
Niles, lightning crackles across the Heartstone, and as it moves up and down your arm, it carves these runes out of light and lightning crackling across as it forms. Rather than this full gauntlet and arm, yours forms this crackling nexus of energy around you, an orb that hovers above the Heartstone, covered in runes, almost like ball lightning. And as you reach out and touch one of the runes, you watch as the ball lightning stretches and pulls out into a long scroll-like shape. And then as it crackles, a metal scroll drops down into your hands.
Oh, that's cool.
The treaty that you had seen before, the coiled up section of metal. But rather than it being paper, as you go to unfurl, you watch as it pulls out into this dark grey slate that crackles to life with energy, showing, at the moment, 2 signatures on the page. The Hill Giants and the Storm Giants.
Okay.
Wait a second. So the first giant dream we had all the signatures.
Yes, you did.
And this particular version of this treaty
Only has two. You're not experiencing these in chronological order, Matt.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Okay. Niles just kind of nods. Oh well.
Files that away for later.
Yep. Looks like that's yeah. We've gone even further beyond. Very animated.
Oh, I guess the reason why we're in this memory then is to get the stone giants to sign the treaty. I guess that's what we're here to experience. And then I guess I just turn to the two stone giants in the cube and I just feel like, any ideas, guys? I mean, on how to convince
Lyra, as you say that, that
giants to sign
feels
the thing.
right. That does, as you say that out loud, yes, you're here as representative delegations from the Althing, the selected members. You're here to convince the stone giants. You're here to convince them that the world above is real enough to be worth protecting. And there is a sense of hopelessness with that thought. You do not
Yeah, definitely
expect to
feel that.
succeed. For some reason,
Well-
you just don't expect this is going to work. You don't know whether it's your cloud giant cynicism, you don't know what it is, but you don't feel like this is going to work. You are skeptical.
Well,
You know that's not why
Lincoln.
you're here.
Well, I mean, if they think that everything's not real anyway, surely we can just convince them that the upper world doesn't exist at all and that signing this treaty is utterly meaningless and that they should do it anyway because it's not real.
But it binds them to something and forces them to act in a way they may not want to act. Can I look inwards for why I'm here, like why I'm helping? Because obviously I'm here helping because I'm guessing I believe in this. Otherwise, why the fuck would I be here helping? Apologies,
But-
sorry, language.
No. We swear all the time in this. What are you talking about?
It's been a while, I forgot.
No, you can fucking swear. It's okay. We're Australian. Like
Okay.
I'm not going to try and censor
yeah.
Australians. That's pointless.
Like obviously I'm here for a reason. I'm a stone giant, so why am I here? Why do I believe in it? Because maybe we could use that reasoning.
But why do you think you're here? What's your theory? As you try and grab at that, it's elusive. What does your mind go to? Where does it naturally go to when you think of this? Why?
Every time I think about the stone giants, it continuously just goes back to the furnace mines.
Okay, that's a very good reason why it's hard for you to synchronize with the with the stone giant echo you're inhabiting. Quite a lot of trauma related to stone giants, but there's something there. There's a reason you're here, and it has something to do with the treaty, something to do with your loyalty to King Mjorn. That feels separate to that feels separate. That feels unique to you, not something that's part of being a stone giant. This feels, for some reason, you feel an affinity, a belief in King Mjorn.
I'm trying to understand them more because Bart doesn't want to murder everyone. His whole outlook with his life and Satine is about love. Obsidian Foot and the stone giant sort of besmirched that values of his. So the two things he's trying to learn about stone giants in this moment as much as he can. The two things I've learned so far is that they're self-important and they think that they're better than anyone that's not dreaming, or that is dreaming. As I lashed out at Threign, and they have a weird respect for King
But that felt
Mjorn.
incongruous when you lashed out at Threign. That didn't feel like what you wanted to do. In that moment, you felt more affinity with just letting the dreams, letting the dreams. It feels. Why waste your time? They're just dreams.
Oh,
They're
I
not
see. So
real.
like my emotions pushing into it.
That was more Bart than it was Ethringer. Ethringer's emotional state was this sense of like almost a sense of confusion as to why you had that outburst. It didn't feel. I mean, why you're shouting at a dream? It's like trying to grab smoke. why are you doing that? What's the point? They're not real.
King Mjorn being like
For some reason, yeah.
one of the few people that they actually respect.
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah,
only
yeah.
two things that he knows. Okay. Lyra, I'm not sure about yourself, Harry, and why your echo is assisting with this journey. But I feel like it has something to do with King Mjorn. A sense of not duty to him, but that if he has the possibility of awaking, maybe the rest of you have the possibility of awaking. And maybe it's a sales tactic to the stone giants that they can be everyone else's saviors and bring them from the dreaming into the waking. I know that, at least as what Bart is aware, that's not the true case, but maybe using their own self-important and ego of the dreaming and the waking and their beliefs of that to make them feel like they're saviors.
I mean, you'd know better than any of us, I guess. Harry, does this track? Like, does that sound about right?
I don't fully remember either, but I feel like I'm here because I believe this is the right thing.
You do, Harry. As you say that out loud, you do feel like this is the right thing.
Can I ask the two stone giants something? It seems apparent that the other stone giants don't believe that we exist. The ones up top. It's a dream of sorts. You two here. There's two of you here, obviously, for a reason. Do you look deep within? Do you both believe that up top is a dream? Or do you both think something else? Are you here to persuade the stone giants? What do you feel deep within?
Harry and Bart, insight checks, please. For yourselves. As your stone giants always. Yes.
Stone giants, that
as your echoes. While you are your echoes, yes.
Ooh, that's a good one. Way, nice
22. Word. Harry, 20. In this moment, Harry and Bart, you feel very insightful. You feel very in tune with your giant echoes. You have doubts, both of you. You did believe. You absolutely believed that the surface was just a dream, that none of it was real. But that changed fairly recently. And you no longer fully believe that. Your past belief is still there. That indoctrination from when you were younger. But you've seen the dreaming. You've seen the surface world. You've been there. You've lived there. And it's changed you. Your experiences, the people that you've met. It feels too real for you to discount it as just all a dream. All nothingness.
There any sort of like nexus event, I guess, that occurred to really push that? Or was it just extended exposure?
It feels like it was gradual. But one day, both of you talked about this with each other. You don't know when, you don't remember the conversation exactly, but both of you know you spoke and expressed your doubts. Doubts that if you vocalize you know this in your mind, that you do not want to vocalize those doubts too openly when you reach the stone teeth.
I know this is an odd request, Threign. To answer your question, I feel like there's still worries of our host. The fact that maybe this is all pointless, to an extent. Do you mind if I have I know this is the way the odd request comes in, a private conversation with Harry, if I could split the room quickly?
Okay, I think that is fair, but like I will say, you've been up top. Look at me. You've met me, you've talked to me, I'm flesh. I am a
Oh,
frost giant. So your doubts, I know, but just take that into account.
I know that. From my entreatment by stone giants, I know that all of this is crockery. But,
Sorry, I actually slipped more into Ulfric than I did Threign.
yeah. I just know that my host believes it, despite its idiocy.
But yes, have the time that you require. We shall be here. We will wait.
Can I use the stone shaping to like make a wall between, like splitting off the thing that we're traveling down?
Oh, you understand instinctively how to shape stone. It's who you are as a stone giant. You just reach down with one hand, grasp the stone floor, and pull it up until it forms a wall, separating the rest of them from you and Harry. It's nothing. It's easy. This is just who you are.
Sindaris, can you hear me?
You hear nothing through the stone.
I'll sort of look at Sindara sitting there smugly, and I'll just sort of.
I am literally just like.
And I'll just like roll my eyes. I'm stuck with this one. Good.
As soon as the wall goes up, Harry, a figment is an am. Your god is inside your hand. This is all completely weird. I don't know what's going on. Do not summon figment again. Please, I through in the dream.
That's
You can't tell the others because I'm worried what Threign might do if he learns that his god is actually some sort of weird invention and not actually a primal being. It could break apart the party, and we need the party together right now.
Oh my god!
Oh yeah, Darren, did you miss this?
Sorry, I didn't. I have to go back and watch the other episode.
But Threign doesn't know any of this. This is this is all Bart's suspicions. Bart tried to sort of connect with Harry's
Who did
heartstone.
Bart talk to actually?
Bart spoke to Figment last session. He's now speaking to Harry. He's just telling Harry his suspicions.
That's so interesting. Okay,
Bart has some suspicions.
I might have to.
Oh no!
I think
I actually didn't mean to do it today. We listened to the podcast, so I didn't get time. Work was hectic.
You're okay.
But no, I'm very keen now to find out.
But
And I'm just going to grab his shoulders, yeah.
as you say the words, Figment is a Nam, there's the weirdest sense of deja vu. A moment where everything you see around you seems to stutter. Just for a second. It's like reality pauses just for a half a second. And then everything continues as normal.
I'm gonna ask him. Do you understand?
Not really, but I'll trust you. And Figment's just Figment, but I won't reach out to
Figment
him.
is not just Figment. You mentioned Figment doesn't know its purpose, yes, and it feels like it's broken apart.
Yes, I did mention that.
Stop treating this so nonchalantly, Harry. Please, we don't have much time.
Yeah, and I'm agreeing with you. I won't tell anybody.
Okay.
I don't even know what it actually means, so
neither do I. Now that I'm not connected, this is up to you to investigate this, but you are connected to the giant gods of old. That is what's inside your hands. That's what the green thing is. I feel like that doesn't mean we can trust more.
But before I mentioned, I think the archivist is always watching.
Well, the archivists serve Anam, correct? Aren't they just part of this? It would want to help if it's anything. Archivist!
There is no response.
Maybe.
And then a second later, the room stops moving.
As stone giants, we can surely sense whether it's because we're at our destination or if time has stopped, right?
Time has not stopped.
Okay, so we're at our destination.
The room does stop moving. I know. I just wanted to freak you out for a brief second.
Okay.
The room does. The room ceases to move.
This is up to you.
Yeah, okay. You just give me a shake your head if I'm doing anything that doesn't work, because I don't fully understand a lot of things.
Yeah,
I'll follow your lead. Okay, I did not see that coming.
As the room begins to collapse around you, watch as the stone melts away. revealing an enormous cavern. The walls, the roof, they are almost hidden. They are so far away. The roof high above you, you see towers of stone rising high into the air, disappearing into the gloom of the cavern above. All around you, enormous stalactites and stalagmites joined together at a central point form this city of stone. You can see walkways connecting them, arched and spiraling through the air. All across the surface, glittering in the darkness, are tiny lights, motes of crystals glowing with a soft, chromatic color. You seem to have stopped. This room seems to have opened up and deposited you in what looks like an enormous stone circle. You can see the ground underneath you is carved with bumps and ridges, forming these spiraling patterns. For Bart and Harry, you know this is lettering. These are words. The stone giants don't just use the giant runic script. They have another script. The script of the dark, which doesn't require light or sight. You merely run your hands across it, and the bumps tell you words, stories. This is the ancient script that only the stone giants know. It is not.
What's the object that we have in our normal characters that has this on it? Don't we have something like this?
I don't think you necessarily have a. I think you've got like some mural pieces that.
Yeah, we don't have anything specific.
I don't think you've got anything much.
Gnomes have some kind of similar. Like,
I swear we came across this like.
Yeah,
but
like
none of us could read it because
somewhere.
We tried to get Ember and Threign to read it, but they couldn't because it was this.
A sign in the Underdark, like the big cross.
Yes.
Directional sign, or?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I do remember. Yes, it does look very similar.
Can I try to? Because obviously, I'm guessing this language is a uniqueness to stone giants. Like if I, the others, Sindaris and whatnot, aren't able to read it. Can I try to remember to what we saw? And
It's not a script to look at. You need to feel it. You need to run your hands across it. Sorry, it's not a script of the sight.
Yeah.
It is a script of the body, script of the soul.
Okay.
The eyes can be tricked. The eyes can look at the dream and see the colors and the chaos, but the body can feel what is real. This is what you know in your heart, but as Ethringer.
Niles probably takes a step and kind of like looks it over and levels a glance back over at the stone giants and goes, "It'd be wonderful to understand this one day. Stories are powerful things, writing as well. It would be nice to learn of of the stone giants' history and understand their point of view in the world, I suppose. If we are to get this signature signed, I think something like that would be useful."
I'll describe the rest of the chamber really quickly as well. You can see streets stretching down and then rising up to join the sky bridges above, these massive stone walkways connecting the towers. But in front of you, you can see a perfect sphere of stone, connected by impossibly thin strands of rock, of metals, of ores, of crystal, forming a lattice around it, almost like it is hovering in place. They are so thin you have to squint to see them in the dark. This sphere that is hovering in place has a single stone opening, a single dark, gaping, spherical hole right in the very center. Stairs leading partway up to it, but a gap meters wide, with nothing joining the two. You watch as next to you the two stone giant guides that had been traveling down with you both fall to one knee and then begin tracing their fingers along this braille-like text, following the bumps and ridges. And as they do, their hands leave glowing trails of light behind them. As the light begins to coalesce and spin around, you watch as it forms angular shapes in the stone. Then with a rumble, the stone begins to crack, as a large creature made of the rock itself pulls itself free. First an arm coming free, the light having formed the cracks and ridges, allowing it to pull itself out of the stone as it reaches down, slowly pulls its head, this massive angular section of crystal and rock. A single glowing eye in the center, looking down towards you.
I was going to say, is this a stone giant or is it something else?
This is, to your eyes, this is massive. If you were Niles right now, this creature would be, a huge creature. Which means that compared to your stone giants, this must be enormous. If you are in your storm giant form, Niles, if you are, let's say for argument's sake, like 14, 15 feet tall, maybe 16 feet tall, this creature's 30 feet tall. As it pulls itself free of the stone, you can see 4 sets of arms grabbing onto the rock as it pulls its torso forwards. No legs, just these spider-like arms jutting out at weird angles, holding it aloft. And as it turns its single eye towards Bart and Harry, you watch as the crystalline center shrinks down to a narrow point and then opens back up again. Bart and Harry next to you watch as the two stone giants who awoke this creature, forehead, eyes, chest, and then lay themselves down upon the stone in front of it.
Harry does the same thing.
Perfect. As you do, you watch as the creature turns towards you, Harry. Reaching out one of the clawed hands, it places its hand upon your shoulder and then your chest and then pulls away. And as it turns towards you, Bart, you watch as it cocks its head almost curiously, this massive creature looking down towards you.
Yeah, I'm still not down with the sickness. I'll just ask the guides. So, where are we bringing the scroll?
2 guides look up at you in confusion and horror, Bart, as you sort of stand there nonchalantly looking down. As they look at each other, you watch as they slowly melt into the stone, disappearing from view, not wanting to be too close to you right now.
I think Sindaris probably cottons on and goes, I think we're supposed to bring the scroll to this one. And I kind of like look up at this creature. Trying to channel some type of memory or some sort of recollection of what this thing could be. Am I able to roll anything to
history
give me an
check?
inclination
History
about what this thing
Arcana,
is?
Harry?
Harry, being a stone giant, would like to do the same thing because I imagine he's familiar with the area.
Yes,
And
advantage
while
on that.
we're trying to figure out what it is, can I also maybe roll something just to see if is it organic? Is it a construct? Like...
Literally made of stone, Lyra. You absolutely can roll to see if you get anything else, though.
Thank you for the advantage.
That's okay. That's
It's
what
a
you'd have.
3 and then a nat 20.
Wow.
Natural 20.
Okay, that's huge. I'm going to roll, history or... What was the other one? Arcana. They're both the same
Arcana.
to me. So,
Yeah.
Intelligence not being one of my strong suits, I will give it
It's
a
a
whirl
natural
anyway.
1 for Lyra's investigation. Lyra, you know how I said it was probably made of stone?
Styrofoam. Absolutely.
Nah, man.
Could be clouds.
Yeah. I mean, this... No, it can't be made of stone. That'd make it an elemental. Nah. This has to be something organic. Maybe a giant crustacean wearing like a carapace that looks a bit like some sort of coral or shell. It can't be stone.
It lost its claws, and then it's just walking around with those little stumpies.
It probably does make sense. I rolled a 5. So it probably does make sense that the air affinity sort of giants have no idea what the fuck this is.
It's a big old crab. Niles, you at least know that this thing is made of stone and it is powered by magic. It is magic itself. Whatever this creature is, it is living rock and stone.
Wow.
You don't know any more than that. Harry, this is the Guardian. It is not the body you see before you. It is the collective will of the stone giant race. It is inhabiting the stone. It has pulled itself free of the stone, but it can inhabit any rock, any stone, any mineral, and it can take on any form. It is a being as old as the stone giants. Sorry, what were we going to say?
And it serves the stone giants, or it's a guardian, right? So it guards the city.
It guards. It does. It guards the city. It works with the stone giants. You know, with a natural 20, you know that an agreement was long ago made with this entity, that it is part of the stone giant family down here. It is part of the stone giants. It's not a stone giant itself.
And what I did before was a form of respect.
Absolutely a form of respect, and you are welcomed back home. What Bart has done by refusing to acknowledge it, it's now not sure if Bart is corrupted. Bart has spent a lot of time on the surface. It hasn't seen him in some time. Seems like Bart might have fallen asleep. Bart might be dreaming. The giant Etringer has come home touched by the unreal world above.
Does Harry know if it's an expectation for other guests to do the sign of respect as well?
Those that are dreams, those that are not real, they're not expected to understand and have the knowledge of those enlightened. It's here to welcome you home. It is here to look over you and look over the stone giants. As you are honored guests, you know in your heart it's not aggressive. It's not going to attack you unless you attack it, and it will defend itself for sure. If you show yourselves as threats to the stone giants, it will do what it can to remove that threat. But it's also here to allow you access into the heart of the city, the sphere that you see beyond.
One more question.
Yeah.
As a cleric and hence someone who is religious, is this a sacred being to a stone giant?
Yes, this is absolutely. The stone giants absolutely believe in Anam as the god, their god. They see this as Anam's child. This was a spirit that was gifted to them by Anam. They found below to look after them, to guide them and to protect them. Natural 20 will get you a lot of fucking information.
Bart, come on, don't be culturally insensitive.
If I look left and right, do I see any forges or furnaces or
no forges, no furnaces? What you do see though, Bart, as you look around, are stone giants. Hundreds of them, emerging from the city, walking down the pathways, gliding over the stone, moving through it as if it is not there, and crowding around this central stone circle, this massive town square, this massive city center. All of them looking at each other, whispering, but looking. And more are coming. You can see the city is full.
Signed.
Looking at us?
Looking at you, all of you, and looking at their guardian.
Question.
Hello.
Being that the stone giants are as they are there like specifically gendered giants, or are they all kind of like androgynous in their appearance?
All of the stone giants are very, very androgynous in their appearance. Very androgynous. Very hard to differentiate male and female stone giants just by appearance. And in fact, stone giants don't really have set genders all their lives. They often transition between them depending on what's needed.
Yep.
That's
cool.
just for that. I would say that you don't necessarily know this, Niles. It's just a fun fact for the audience. Yes.
The stone giants are like frogs.
Stone giants are like frogs in this case. They're able to change their gender. And like clownfish. I know clownfish can change their gender too when they need to. There's a lot of animals that can.
Yes.
Why live restricted?
Yeah, exactly.
Free.
So what they don't have sexual dimorphism is the specific scientific term if you're looking for it. So they don't have differences in appearance and morphology based on gender. And in fact, they are mostly agendered. They transition between depending on what's needed.
Very cool.
If we need this treaty signed, guys, we can't draw that much attention to us.
What's the purpose of the treaty again? Just clarify.
You don't know, Bart. No one's explained this. It's really, really, like, these guys are talking like they know a whole bunch of stuff that they haven't shared with you, and frankly, that's a bit rude.
He never asked.
This seems like important information they should have volunteered. Like, they've brought up this treaty twice now, and no one has told you anything about it. They're talking as if this is something you should know about, but you don't, and that's not fair.
From what I know about the Kuatoans, is this a treaty to unite against Hadar, Harry?
It's a treaty to unite the giants.
Why?
Refugees, mostly.
For what? Sorry.
Refugees.
The eels and the ones from the other realms.
The smaller folks.
You're not sure in the chronology when that happens, though. Something to keep in mind.
We know that that's before the treaty, I thought, because...
Oh, no, because the treaty was almost done.
It was all done. When the portal was first turned on, the treaty was all signed.
Okay, so it was to unite the giants. I was pretty sure. Yeah.
But you don't know why. You guys have no idea why the treaty was signed. You know that first meeting when you first had the giant.
We were just looking at it just before.
Yeah.
Does anyone remember what it says? Like, can anyone
pull it back out and read it?
We were literally just looking at it.
As you pull it open, it doesn't actually have. It's not covered in runes or words. Right. It's not. It's as you open it up, you watch as it crackles to life. It merely has the symbols of each of the giants in the orientation that the council members of the old thing sit. Each of the leaders of the giants sits, and interestingly enough, there's no, as I said, there's no signature for the stone. There's no signature for the stone, no signature for the fire, no signature for the frost, and no signature for the cloud. Just the storm and the hill. And it's at this moment, I would say you've kind of got enough of the information that you all kind of feel this knowledge. This is the founding of the other thing, of the Council of the Giants.
Oh.
It seemed that word still feels new. Other thing.
Other thing. Okay.
That is a new word. King Mjorn has spoken about it, but that feels very new still. And you believe in it. All of you believe in his vision. You know that absolutely. But yeah,
I feel like this, Harry, is the opposite of what you're saying. We've got everyone's attention. This is a moment, maybe, to convince some of the populace.
Evolutionary change, not revolutionary change. We can't do it all at once. We just need to. We have very progressive ideas.
Just a simple thing. Watch. I'm gonna grab my wire-wrapped dark grey rod, and pulling it up above my head. I would like to create as grand and big of an illusion as I can to depict the sun.
Cool.
But as you do this feels at odds. There's a moment of hesitation, but you push through. Just a temporary, momentary sense of fear and regret. But you squash it down. You're stronger than this. You know where that comes from. It's not you. And as you hold aloft the device and channel your magic through it, it springs to life. A blazing orb fills the air above you, 20 feet in diameter, giving off this soft orange glow. Nowhere near the sunlight, the power of sunlight, but still bright enough in this dark cavern that you watch as most of the stone giants shield their eyes against it, turning away from this bright light suddenly appearing in the sky above them. You watch as the Guardian, the massive stone entity created from the glowing lines of light, looks down towards you, Bart, and then slowly reaches out one hand, the finger extended as it presses towards your chest, gently touches, just pushing with the slightest pressure against you, as if trying to see what you are or what you're doing, just bumping you.
These things don't connect telepathically, do they? As far as my knowledge goes of the Guardian.
You've never tried. You've got the Heartstone. It's right
I was
there.
having this thought before, and again, this is still just this anger. I really, this thing, the stone giants think they're superior. This thing's being respected. I'm being told to bow. I want to show this thing what I've been through. I want this thing to see the memories of Bart being tormented. I want them to know the pain that I went through. Fuck this guy.
I'm very, as Sindaris, I'm probably just hanging back and just seeing how this all plays through from a diplomatic perspective, because I want to see if the stone giants can handle this. As Niles, I'm keeping an eye on Bart right now, because if shit's about to go sideways, I'm going to step in.
I don't want to attack the Guardian. I just want to show it that the stone giants aren't all they're cracked up to be.
Ballsy.
But as you
Big
reach
brass
out,
balls.
pushing these memories, you watch as this enormous stone form almost recoils from you, the finger pulling back as it feels your pain, feels the horror that you went through. And as it does so, you watch as all around you, the stone giants collectively gasp, watching this guardian spirit pull back in fear and horror from you. And as the voices begin to mutter all around, growing louder and louder, you hear this ringing sound echo from the sphere. Behind this stone guardian, you see a figure stride from the dark maw of this sphere. As they step out onto empty air above the gap where the sphere hovers, the staircase doesn't quite meet, you watch as from underneath, stone forms, these pebbles form up and form a footprint, and another as they stride across the empty air, the stone hovering in place, allowing them to move. A stone giant. Around their head, a cluster of crystals forms almost like a jagged crown. And as they hold their hand up, you see a heartstone embedded into the back of their hand. From their heartstone, this echoing sound fills the chamber, and as it does so, silence descends upon the crowd. You watch as the guardian spirit turns and looks up towards this stone giant striding down the stairs towards you, and then sinks back into the ground, the runes going dark as it vanishes back into the stonework. The stone giant that strides down the stairs towards you is cracked, their skin covered in furrows and scars, looking like cracks and chips, as if it was made of stone itself. They are dressed quite simply. Just a large metal brace around their midsection, similar to what you are wearing, Bard, and what Harry's wearing, to cover that sort of much more thinner torso and thinner waistline. But behind them, stone, dust and pebbles and rocks trails like a cloak, gathering around them, forming this long trail of rocky debris that flows almost like fabric as they walk across the ground, barefoot. Unlike the other stone giants who glide, you watch as this one strides forwards, leaving footprints in the ground behind them. And as they reach the bottom of the stairs, their hands still held aloft, you watch as they furrow their brow and slowly lower their head.
Your time on the surface has brought you much pain, Etringer. I feel it, as does our guardian. Tell me, what has this dream, this nightmare above, done to hurt you so?
It is the opposite. The pain that is felt by those who are dreaming. They could have peace if they were awake. There is one close to that. I'll try to, same as what I did before, push the emotions of King Mjorn to this leader. This sense of loyalty and...
No connection exists between you and this stone giant.
Okay.
Not like it does with you and the Guardian. And you know in your heart that is because the Guardian is a spirit and you are bonded to it through the Heartstone and through your status as a stone giant. But you know, as you look at this figure, you immediately know that you are looking at King Hunamur. Hunamur. Elder Hunamur, as they're known in the stone giant tongue.
View yourself. And knowing that there's no connection in that case, I've got a Heartstone, correct?
Yes, and so does
I'm
King We can call him King Hun, if that's easier for people to remember. Or Elder Hun. As Elder Hun looks down at your hand reaching out, they reach forward, place their hand on yours. Rather than grabbing your hand, they place theirs on top, their hand underneath, holding your hands in theirs. And bringing their forehead forwards, as if to press against yours.
I'll reach back. Close to waking, but we need to help these poor souls above. We need to join in this pact and guide them.
Storm giants, our cousins above, for that is how they see themselves, no. Above.
And he shoots a disdainful glare over towards Niles.
This King Myon, does he seek redemption for his father's actions? King Belloc. Belloc the Bloody. Belloc the Conqueror. No. We are the Awakened. No storm giant has yet proven themselves worthy of that title. They are blinded by the lights above, the sound and color. It is the dream.
And you hear around you, muttering in synchrony, all of the stone giants mutter the word dream as it echoes around you. But for you, that word whispered back at you doesn't feel
I real
great.
fucking hate this, yeah.
If I may, you speak interesting choice words of King Bjorn. I would have you know that he is not the same as his father. He seeks to unite the giants under a single cause.
How is he not the same as his father? He sought to unite giant kind under him. This is the same.
Bjorn sees a different path for giant kind, one that's not steeped in bloodshed between kin.
The goal his father wanted, and the benefits that it would reap, but through a path of peace.
We have sought out the wise counsel of the stone giant here present. We have already signed said treaty as the Storm Giant clan, as does the Hill Giants themselves.
Indeed.
And now we humbly seek your counsel.
I want to know a question. I want to ask a question, sorry. You say that we are not awakened. We are the dream, this and that. Yet you all live underground. Can I ask you a question? What happens if you are the ones that are dreaming and we are awake?
It makes sense. Speak of peace and yet bring the greatest warrior of the Frost Giant clans with you.
I might be one of the greatest warriors, but I am also one of the greatest... What's the word I'm thinking of?
Tacticianer? I wonder if that's what you're... Is that what you're kind of going for? Okay. I wonder if you're kind of going for a way to show off, like, I am strong, but I'm also intelligent. I got the kind of vibe that's what you were.
I'm also one of the greatest warriors, but also in my clan, I'm also one of the great philosophers.
It was philosopher.
I also look up at the sky. I look up at the stars. I look at my kin, my spirit.
You look at pretty lights that dance. You do not see. What you see is deceiving. Only in dark can you see inside. That is why it is a dream up above. It is distraction.
While you stay down here, you say that I am blind, but you do not open your eyes to the rest of the world. Do not realize what it is to live up there, to breathe in the air.
I think that's the purpose, however, Ulfric and King Hunamra. what we're trying to do.
Let's just call him King Hunma. Let's shorten it. I can already tell that's going to be a problem for people. My bad. Let's make it more accessible to people who might not necessarily have like.
I do want to hear this
King
answer
Hunma.
quickly from the king here.
King Hunma. Let's just go with that.
What?
Elder
It's
Hunma.
not an answer.
Why are we the ones that are asleep? Though? Why are we the dream? Why are you awake? And what makes you different? What have you went through?
We see the great truth.
I'm asking this question so I can better understand you, like the Storm Giants, so we can bridge a gap between ourselves.
We see Anam's will. Anam the Shaper, Anam the Maker. Only we follow Anam's true laws. What do you make, Ulfric of the Frost Giants? Do you create structures in his name? Do you shape the very earth created by his will? No. But we do. We are the Stone Giants.
Every day I live with the spirit of Anam. I feel him, I breathe in him. You are here underground building things in reverence of him, but I truly connected to him every single day. Everything that he built up there, I breathe in, I feel, I witness.
But you do not do as he did.
You have your head in... No, but you have your head in the rock.
Like Anam did.
I'm not saying this as hostile. Do not
Ulfric, you say that, but this is turning into simply a back and forth argument. We're not measuring anything right now, okay? This is the point of this, King. This treaty is meant to make...
understand each other too.
That's exactly right. The purpose of this is so that we can find an equal ground to help each other.
Sorry, just before we go into the topic of equal ground, I did just want to ask one quick question, and that's you're speaking as if it sounds like you think that Anam was down here with the Earth Giants. Is that the case?
Anam is in all things he creates, but Anam above all was a shaper. He made things, he made this world, he made us, and we make things. We follow his teachings, his guidance.
Anam also made up. He also made the world
Indeed,
up.
that was the dream. That is his dream, a dream of light and sound and color. But it is just that. A
So
dream.
if you went up there with your eyes closed, would it still be a dream or would you be awake?
It would still be a dream. But
there's no light color.
But there is sound, there is sensation. It is all just the dreaming.
Isn't that what we also feel down here?
Yeah.
No. Down here you feel his will, his world.
I tap my my axe on the ground as it reverberates. Does that also, what you were just saying happens up there, just happened then?
Anam is a god. Yeah. He makes things that feel real. He is not someone who just makes illusions. But it is not real.
If I may, I believe that King Bjorn, when I say seeks a different path, I and we, as the Storm Giants, posture the fact that perhaps there is neither or, maybe there is just one. Yes, this is a kingdom. This is a fine palace that you have created for yourselves and your kin, but you cannot invalidate that of our experiences above. Why can it not all be one dream and reality in the same? Why does it have to be separate?
Niles, could you please make me a persuasion check? That is damn fine reasoning.
Can I do that as Sindaris, please?
You have to do it as Sindaris.
Oh, perfect. A persuasion check?
You must do it as Sindaris. If you were to do it as yourself, that would be invalidating. It has to be
that's a 17.
17. You watch as Elder Hunar, we'll change it to Hunar. I'll update it in my notes. As Elder Hunar slowly nods, almost imperceptibly. And he turns his attention towards Harry.
Uthnir, my son, what have you found above?
I found so much. I like it down here. Down here it feels good. It feels safe. It feels it's what we live. But if we only stay down here and only involve ourselves with what's down here, the entire dream world that we miss out on, which has so much to offer in the sea.
You think there is value there?
I believe this is the right thing.
Isn't everything that Nam does worthwhile for all to experience? His wonder, everything.
Your words. I did not expect them to sway me so, but I find myself agreeing. This King Mion, he chose his ambassadors well. And he has done well to convince my son, Uthnir, of his value. He walks over to you, Harry, placing a hand on your shoulder, bringing his forehead in to touch yours.
Harry's loving it. he's living it.
Yeah. Nice.
As you press your foreheads together, he wraps his arms around you and pulls you into almost like a bit of a shoulder bear hug. Not touching bodies, but just the heads together, arms on each other's shoulders.
I have missed you, my boy.
I have missed you too, dear father. Well, it's been so long.
This King Mion, do you trust him?
You're muted, Harry. I'm so sorry.
No, I can hear him.
Oh no! Okay, it's just me then. Let me just quickly refresh.
It's happened for me too.
Of course.
Oh, that sucks.
That's right. Super easy to refresh. Take me 2 seconds and I'll be straight back in. And I'm refreshed.
Also, can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Oh,
Perfectly. No, perfectly. I can hear you perfectly. Yeah. Harry, what did you say?
Perfect.
For a dream folk, he is someone I believe in, and I went in there not expecting what his goals and his vision to move me, but even in the dream world, it was a compelling argument. In now that I'm back home and I can think again, I still feel the same way.
Harry, could you please make me a final persuasion check as the character of Uthnir? And you have advantage on this check because of the very successful arguments posed by Bart, Niles, Threign, and Lyra.
Okay. Hopefully that makes up from a -1.
9 and 8.
That is a 9 and an 8.
Ooh.
You were always so easy to distract with pretty things, Uthnir. I thought I taught you better.
As he slowly pulls back, looking down.
I am not convinced by this treaty. Not yet.
King Huon, if I may. Your ambassadors brought us here under the pretense of this meeting, but also to understand your awakening and the truth behind things. And I believe, in order to understand your stance more, I would be willing to see this or to experience this for myself.
To prove that a storm giant can awaken, as you said, with King Balak's inability.
And
Yes.
perhaps on the other foot, if you were to experience the dream world, I mean, you said it yourself, Anam, the dreaming world is Anam's dreams. Is it not part of an extension of Anam himself to experience his dreams when they're there waiting for you? to experience another side of him that you may not have before?
I cannot travel above. I am bound to this place as the elder of the stone teeth.
That is fine. You do not need to. What she mentions is true already. I'm gonna, again, Trill's trying to hide this, lean in, because I'm guessing me, Utsnia, and Huna. Yeah, Huna are all close.
You're not quite sure what your relationship is with Elder Hunar, but you seem to be close with Utnir, his son. Ettringa seems to be close with Utnir, which we have now learned is Elder Hunar's son.
I'm a prince. I'm a
prince.
Well, technically, you're Princess Harry at the moment.
Leaning in for a whisper. Utnir was selected by Anam. Anam, just like what this Ulfric great warrior was mentioning. The dreaming is still worshipped and watched by him. Look, and I'm going to sort of eye towards the hand.
Selected by Anam. What mean you this?
It's something we should keep, I guess. It's showing again the sovereignty and specialty of us and our work. But the dreams are important. Connect yourself and touch yourself to Utsnia.
I see.
Watches. Elder Hunar nods, looks down at his heartstone and places his hand forwards for Harry to lay his hand atop it.
I like to think that Harry didn't hear any of the stuff that you were talking about, and Harry thinks his dad wants to just hold his hand, so he's gonna reach out.
Harry, as you reach out and hold Hunmar's hand, sound around you seems to almost freeze as you hear this almost shudder, and you watch as suddenly Hunar's hand, the hand that grips yours, Harry, isn't that of an old stone giant. It's a claw made of metal. And as you look up at King Hunar, you watch as the form pixelates and blurs, falling away, as a creature made of metal, twisting on itself, grabs you by the hand and holds you up, looking at your stone. And you hear, "I found you." And that is where we are going to wrap up for tonight.
Oh, no! Come on, man. Every time.
Someone mentioned something bad.
I was wondering when this was going to come up. I was it's going to be a consequence for this.
Christian, spicy boy mentioning things like that inside the dream.
Oh dear.
Fun. We are going to have fun with that next session. Holy shit. That has changed some significant things.
Oh my god.
It was going to be a very, very different kind of circumstance there.
Huno was just going to be like, "Oh, a figment of Anam. He really is chosen. Perfect. Okay."
Oh no, Huno wouldn't have been able to. Huno's a construct. Huno's a memory of who Huno is. He's not able to sense anything like that. There's nothing he can do. But there are other things that can take on the forms of others inside this place.
You know what though?
World.
I mean, Bart doesn't really have that knowledge, does he?
This is my first year.
That's
exactly.
I definitely did say multiple times that we haven't traveled back in time.
You did say that. And we did say at the start, like, we were debating whether or not to actually...
Yeah, but have we actually... We never really gave Bart a
You did not explain to...
So...
No. And that's what I was saying. It's not... This is on Christian. Christian played this exactly as Bart would, without the knowledge required.
100%.
This is like...
That's what I'm saying. Like, 100%. He was doing what he thought was right.
There's two things at play here, right? One... This is his first stream experience, and he is not familiar with the Archivist, whereas we are. And we did say...
I haven't actually met the Archivist either.
We weren't sure about the Archivist's alignment. We did know that he is somehow in control of the dream, and it has something to do with the Heartstone. That is true. But we also don't know that Christian, or that Bart knows that he thinks that Figment is an amp. We
don't know that either.
Only Bart knew that. Only Bart knew that, yeah.
Yeah, and
so many moving parts.
doesn't even feel like a bad thing to me. Like I just feel like it's Anam's leg or arm or something, like a different piece of him. Like how he said it was apart.
We're gonna find that out.
Well, yeah, you don't even know that it could be a Nam.
And even furthermore, we're in such like the dreams that you guys are in. What Bart has been told so far, from even your guys' experience, is that you don't really know what the fuck's going on. So who knows if this is actually just like a video recording of the past? Maybe you are actually time traveling for all you know.
Yeah. So I think you guys did have a bit of a chance to think about it, and you know that you're experiencing simulated memories. You've got some freedoms that you can do things with. That's what the archivist confirmed. Yeah, you guys kind of figured that out, I think, but you did not explain that to Bart.
You said it as well.
Yeah, so
you can trust the archivist.
That's one of my favorite things, is that things that NPCs say aren't necessarily true, which I think is loads of fun, because great when you guys just
time, and then yes,
yeah. Well, thank you so much, everybody. I'm looking forward to next session. This is gonna be great. I'm gonna have a lot of fun.
Oh wow!
For those of you watching us on Twitch, don't go anywhere. We are going to go and raid one of our other lovely friends. For those of you watching us on YouTube or listening to us on the podcast, thank you so much. It is lovely to have you join us once again. Make sure you smash that like and subscribe button and leave a comment. It helps us maintain the magical barrier that keeps the YouTube algorithm from tearing into our dreams and destroying our sense of reality. For those of you who I'm very sorry again that we're not going to be able to make it for our Avatar Legends session tomorrow night, but we will be back next week with that. So the next time you'll see us will be for Curse of Strahd on Monday. So I hope you guys all have a wonderful weekend. Stay safe, stay well, and we will see you really, really soon. But until then, everybody, goodbye. Farewell!
Bye.
See you later, gang.
Thank you.